To discuss the starting point of photography and how photography was born, it is necessary to step far back into the evolution of humankind.
You are watching Visual Independence.
Photography consists of various elements that make it possible to take pictures and, more importantly, to capture them. Since the dawn of time, it has been a primal desire of mankind to freeze their image and surrounding environment. The fundamentals of lenses and the camera had already been discovered by science before the invention of photography. It was possible to project an image on the wall or on a sheet of paper, but reproduction was not yet feasible. Capturing images was much more complex than projecting them. The Greek philosopher Aristotle describes the camera obscura as early as 4th century BC. This original camera is an image-generating instrument that predates the invention of photography by several centuries. It consisted of small darkened rooms into which light entered through a single tiny window. The result was that a mirror image of the outside world was projected onto the mostly white opposite wall. For centuries, this technology was used to view solar eclipses without injuring people's eyes. Starting in the 16th century, the camera obscura was also used to aid in painting and drawing. The motif was positioned outdoors, and the image was reflected on a piece of drawing paper, which the artist could then trace. Portable versions were developed, and later smaller, and even models for pocket use. The interior of the case was painted black, with the image reflected through a slanted mirror, allowing it to be viewed from above. Works of art have always been imitated. Artifacts created by humans could always be recreated by others. Replicas were produced by students in pursuit of their craft, by masters to disseminate their works, and finally by third parties in pursuit of profit. The idea of mechanically reproducing a work of art, however, posed something entirely new. The first plant-based paper-like writing sheet of paper was papyrus in Egypt, 4th century BC. But the earliest genuine paper, the world's first truly paper-making process, was documented in China during the Eastern Han period, and is attributed to the court servant, Kylin. Johannes Gutenberg, the German inventor, is credited with the first printing press with movable type circa 1440 in Mainz. Without wishing to belittle his achievements, he was not the first. The oldest printing process in the world originated in Asia. It is part of Chinese self-mythology that the country gave the world a multitude of inventions that changed history, and are often referred to as the four great inventions: gunpowder, compass, paper, and printing. China began printing about 2,000 years ago, laying the foundation for reproducible writing as well as photography. The earliest works of art are known to be created in connection with a ritual, first in magical, then in religious form. Significantly, the existence of a work of art in terms of its aura has never been completely separated from its ritual function. This ritual basis is still found today in mundane forms of worship of the beautiful as the basis for the original use value of a work of art. The secular cult of beauty that developed during the Renaissance and prevailed for 3 centuries clearly shows this ritual anchoring. Its attractiveness grew to such an extent that the virtual transformation became a qualitative transition by its nature. A situation similar to that of the prehistoric artist, who was primarily a magical agent due to the absolute emphasis of his cultural possession. In 1760, the French writer, Tiffin de la Roche published the novel Chiffante. The work is best known for predicting the modern process of photography. An excerpt from the novel describes,
"You know that light rays reflected from various bodies form images and paint the image reflected on all polished surfaces. For example, on the retina of the eye, on water, and on glass. The spirit scientists have tried to replicate these fleeting images. They have made a delicate material that is very viscous and dries and hardens very quickly, creating an image in the blink of an eye. They coat a piece of canvas with this material and place it in front of the object to be captured. The initial effect of this cloth is similar to that of a mirror, but due to its viscous nature, the prepared canvas retains a facsimile of the image, unlike the mirror. The mirror faithfully reproduces the image, but retains none of them. Our canvas reproduces them no less faithfully, but retains all of them. This impression of the image is created immediately. The canvas is then removed and stored in a dark place. An hour later, the print has dried and you have a picture that is so precious because no art can imitate its truthfulness.
To conclude this brief observation on the origins of photography with a quote from Irish playwright, critic, controversialist, and political civil rights activist George Bernard Shaw, I would gladly trade every single painting of Christ for a snapshot